by Sonali Deraniyagala. Okay, now the first thing is this is not the whole story. This is just an extract taken from the novel Wave. Right, this is the novel Wave that I have depicted in the screen. The memo of life after the tsunami, written by Sonali Deraniyagala. So actually, this is a memo of life after the tsunami. That means a kind of memoir means the memory, right? The fade out memory. That is called as memoir. So who is this Sonali Deraniyagala? First of all, you should understand that. Now, Sonali Deraniyagala is a Sri Lankan, right? She's a Sri Lankan, but she studied, she worked, and she married, even though she lived in England, right? Like half of like her life is in England only. So you can wonder like how did this lady get caught to the wave with her family, right? She is an economist by the profession. So if we introduce her as, we can economist. So when she was in England, she got married to a British citizen who is named as Steve Lisenberg, and he was a research professor as well. So in their marriage only, they had two sons named as Vikram and Malli. So those two are the two children. So what happened? Unfortunately, what happened was she came to Sri Lanka in 2004 with her family for a holiday. Okay, for a holiday, she visited Sri Lanka. So you know that December means a very vacation season. So when they come here, since they came to what we call spend the holiday, they went to this Yala game sanctuary. Okay, they stayed there in a hotel, and on 26th December, the most critical day of Sonali's life happened, right? That was the most critical day in her life, and she had to face it along with her family. So all these years, she was there in England, and on that particular year, why did she come to Sri Lanka? All have that question. So that's her fate, right? That's her. That's what is written to her. Okay, so very tragical story. This is a tragedy because the ending is definitely a sad one, a sorrowful one. But you will not see the total exact ending. You will not see because this is just an extract taken, just like in Lahore attack, an extract only. Right now, they got caught to this the tsunami. They got caught to this horrible, devastating tsunami, which was taking place in the southern part of Sri Lanka. And the hotel which they were staying, that was, faithfully taken by the waves of the tsunami as well. Okay, so you should understand what happened in this tragedy also. Like like we all say that okay, this is what took place in this is what happened in the way she lost her family and all, but you have to understand how this happened as well, right? So in this tragedy, we call it as a tragedy. In tragedy, um, Sonali Deraniyagala, she lost her only two sons. Okay, only two sons, and she lost both the sons, and even her husband were lost, and even her parents were lost. So in simply I can tell, she totally became an orphan, right? So you can just imagine how a lady can stand on this earth alone, where nobody is there to her hereafter. So the tsunami took her whole life. We can say like that. Tsunami carried her. When the tsunami waves came, she was carried 2 miles away from the place where she was there actually, right? And finally, she was just hanging on a branch of a tree and safeguard her life. Okay, but you can't tell that she thought she was okay, right? She herself was injured very badly. She was injured. Okay, so as a victim of the tsunami, she could not accept the real truth. The real truth is she lost her whole family. She couldn't accept that. Okay, she cannot believe that, and she can't allow her mind to accept it also. Just think her situation from your place. You have to play her role when you're reading this prose. Not only this prose, whatever the prose, whatever the drama, whatever the poem you are reading, as a literature student, you should love it. You should play the role. Then only you understand the real truth behind that. So just think, as a woman, how can one lady stand alone on this earth without any of her husband, family, or parents? And how can she believe that everyone were just taken by the waves where they love to visit the beach? Every one of us like. So where we really love to visit, and the whole earth surface is, covered by 70% of our earth is covered by water. Wherever she go, wherever she see the beach, she will remember this very sad story. And she will hate these devastating waves also, but she had to be, she had to face these things but unable to believe that truth. So as a result, she tried to, suicide also. She attempted to kill herself several times. She did that, but luckily, to be thankful for her relatives, they prevented her from doing that, because she hated to live this life. So she got used to, these addictions and stuff and all, because she wants to forget this uh, nasty memory. So after about 3 years only, she went to home in London, uh, where they were living with her husband and sons, and she remembered all these memories, and she really accepted the truth. She really accepted the truth of her loss, right? So that's the story before the, months after the tsunami. What happened after the tsunami? Just after the tsunami waves. Okay, so now we'll go into the extract. While I'm reading, I'll tell you more interesting facts as well. It was then she saw the wave. Oh my God, the sea is coming in. That's what she said. I looked behind me. It didn't seem that remarkable or alarming. It was only the white curl of a big wave. Now, this is said by Sonali. Sonali Deraniyagala is telling. It was then she saw the wave. Then she saw the wave means her friend. Please write down there, friend for she. So somebody has sawn the wave. Oh my God, the sea is coming in. That's what she said. That's what she said. Then I looked behind me. That means Sonali Dharaniyagala looked behind her. It didn't seem that remarkable. Though she was telling like that, it didn't seem that remarkable or alarming. That means it didn't seem to be so serious. It was only the white curl of a big wave. That was only. It was just a big wave with white curls, right? So you have to imagine the situation. How somebody is standing inside a hotel room where the beach is opposite, and your friend is telling, "Oh my God, the sea is coming," like that, and you turn a little around and see nothing, no, nothing remarkable, and just continuing with your work. But you couldn't usually see breaking waves from our room. You hardly noticed the ocean at all. It was just a glint of blue above the wide spread of sand that sloped sharply down to the water. Right. Now she's telling how the wave came. Right. It was not remarkable, she said, but you couldn't usually see breaking waves. Usually, this, what we call wave, is a really a new experience for people. They really have not experienced tsunami. Right. They were inside the hot air room and they did not see any changes in the sea. Right. They did not see any sea very clearly. So that's why she said it was just a glint of blue, only a little combination of waves, curly waves. That's what they saw. And it was really hard blue color, but they did not think that it was so alarming. That's why they did not take it much care. Right. They did not mind it, because she thought it's just a huge wave. Now the froth of a wave had scaled up the slope and was nearing the tall conifers that were halfway between our room and the water's edge. Incongruous. Right, now she's saying, okay, but when the time passed, what happened? These waves started to bring a froth of a wave, a huge wave, all the curly water, lots of water gathered, and we call it as the froth of the wave. So it started to make a froth of a wave, and it was like kind of alarming. What do you call that? It's showing some kind of warning for you to safeguard yourself now, because the situation is turning bad now. That is what it is said from that froth of the wave. And scaled up the slope and was nearing the tall conifers that were halfway between our room and the water's edge. Now it is reaching even to the conifers, how high trees they are. But they are reaching even those trees. Reason? They are very huge high waves. Can you understand? So that situation you have to now imagine how the high waves are coming. So this is really a new experience for all the people, since they have not faced the tsunami before. So nowadays we know if it is tsunami, we know that the sea goes back and suddenly only it comes front and make a huge disaster. Right. So earlier they did not have any alarming sounds and all when the sea is coming up. Halfway between our room and the water's edge. Incongruous, those trees in this landscape of brittle thorny scrub. So what is this incongruous? Right? Incongruous means like it is making a huge disaster, and we can say out of the sea. It is out of the beach actually. There is a portion, there is a limit. No? So it has passed that also. So it is coming to the unsuitable place. It is clashing inside. So it's creating some kind of a conflict thought there. Right? Thorny scrub. Right. Even the trees and plants are destroyed by it. This was peculiar. Peculiar means strange. This was peculiar. I called out to Steve in the bathroom. I called out, Steve in the bathroom. Come out, Steve's. I want to show you something odd. Right now, who is this Steve? That is her husband. As I introduced in the beginning, that's her husband. So if we see, usually think we see something so strange outside this thing, an alien, an alien landing outside in the in its what we call spacecraft. So we all quickly call all the members in our family. Come quick! I want to show you something. I don't want you to miss this opportunity. So we are very interested, and we don't like the loved ones, our loved ones, to miss to see something strange. That's why the normal human nature kept Sonali Deraniyagala to call her husband to see this odd thing. I wanted him to come out quick before all this form dissolve. In a minute, Steve muttered with no intention of rushing out. Now, she really wanted him to come, but what did Steve say? Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. So that what does it mean? He is not at all interested in seeing that. So Sonali Deraniyagala was like very much interested, because she thought that these waves will go back again to the sea and this moment will not come back. That's what she thought. So poor people, everyone were thinking like that. Then there was more white froth. After that, what happened? Unexpectedly, there was more white froth and more. Vic was sitting by the back door reading the first page of The Hobbit. You can find about this book. It's a book, right? The Hobbit. It's a short story, novel kind of one. The child was reading it. Vic, her one son. So he was just calmly sitting behind. So what you understand? Everyone are spending their life in a very calm way, relaxedly as the normal days. No harm to be seen. Because disasters, they don't inform and come. Everything suddenly happens. In a minute, everything can clash out. Right? So this poor boy, young one, he was just reading the first page. Just only he started reading. I told him to shut that door. Okay, he was reading in the back door. No? So you can imagine how a child is sitting in back door, how he's reading interestingly, just started to read only. His mother told, close that door. It was a glass door with 4 panels. See how Sonali Deraniyagala is taking you to the story. Now you yourself, your soul has to go to that situation and observe what's happening, how they react and how they behave. Right? So she said that's a 4-panel door with 4 panels. And he closed each one. The boy did not ask any question like you all. Why, for what? No, I'm reading. No, let me, he did not ask. He just obeyed his mother's rules and he closed each one. Then came across the room and stood by me. That means this boy has understood something is going to happen, right? He closed and he came across the room and stood by me. He didn't say anything. He didn't ask me what was going on. That means he was alert that mother is alarming for something. That's what the little boy did not want to ask any question or anything about this matter. And he understood the situation is a little serious. The foam turned into waves, waves leaping over the ridges where the beach ended. This was not normal. Now they understood this was not normal. Something serious is happening here, right? That's what they understood because the sea was not behaving as the normal days. The sea never came this far in, waves not receding or dissolving. What does it mean? The sea waves are going back and back, behind so far. Now the what we call that place, the sand, sea sands are, visible. What did the people do? They went forward. They went to see what is happening, why sea water is going behind. They all went inside and inside, right? Now everybody is going into that part. Closer now, brown and gray. Brown or gray, waves rushing. Right now, brown and gray, brown or gray. What does it mean? She is not exactly sure what the color is. The far visible side is not much sure for her, and the color is changing. The water is getting darker, right? All the waves are, making forms and trying to make a huge wave. They are getting ready to come front. Just think when we are having a race or a motor bicycle race, racing car race, what do? We race, right? When we are running, we make our foods and we get ready. We put the sand behind from our shoe. Then when we are doing a racing car, we race the vehicle. When the ox fights and all, have you seen the bulls and all, they fight? When they do, they swipe the sand behind. Why do they do that? They are going to have a great start. That is what here also. Similarly, the waves are all gathering the forms and going behind to come and attack fastly. But our poor people who were not aware of what is tsunami, they did not understand what's happening. They simply thought this is just something strange happening. That's what they went into the water to see, into the sand to see what's strange going on. Waves rushing past the conifers and coming closer to our room. Now she is noticing all these things. Now waves are rushing fast, passing even the conifer trees, and now it's reaching their room. So you are observing all these things from the glass door. All these waves now charging, churning, suddenly furious. Charging and churning are auditory. They are making some kind of onomatopoeia. That is a technique because they want to show you what is that sound like and what kind of a situation is going on. That's what the writer wants you to feel. Suddenly furious. These are sound effects, right? Suddenly menacing. Steve, you have got to come out now. This is what she said. Steve, you have got to come out now. Steve ran out of the bathroom, tying his sarong. He looked outside. We didn't speak. Everything happened in a split second. Okay, everything happened in a very split second. She understood that waves are coming to attack them. So what she said, she warned her husband, now definitely you have to come out. Definitely you have to come out of this, and this is not the situation for us to stay here. So Steve understood that his wife's voice is alarming, and he ran out of the bathroom, just tying his sarong. He did not have time to change the dress. So don't mind why this man is running with a trouser. I found for a man tying with sarong, definitely I did not get any pic, right? So he's running with a sarong. He looked outside and we didn't speak. There is no time to speak. Okay? When the situation is so urgent and immediate, you have no time to speak or have any other chit chats, right? So he ran without speaking to themselves. I grabbed Vic and Molly, and we all ran out of the front door. I was ahead of Steve. My God, she was like a player in the Olympic, right? An athlete. She was even front of Steve, right? That much she was hurried, but definitely you have to understand she was not selfish to safeguard her life. She was selfish to save her children's life, Vic and Molly. What did she do? She quickly grabbed them and ran. She did not grab her husband and ran. She grabbed her children, that is mother's love. So you have to understand the warmth of the mother, how they, even the father, you will understand how they are doing a great effort to safeguard their children's life. So she quickly took Vic and Molly. She called Vic as the Vikram, and they all ran out of the front door because you know that the back door is closed. Okay, I was ahead of Steve. I held the boys each by the hand. So they might be grown children. You can see this is a real picture of them. They are grown children, but still she was able to carry them because in a very urgent situation, in a very immediate situation, nothing is heavy to you, nothing is big to you, right? Definitely that's really true. If you will understand, even in some situation, if your mother or father falls sick, sometimes you have the strength to carry them. Even that is the truth. I have seen that. I have experienced it very much. Right? They are not heavy to you, right? They don't seem like a huge burden to you. Definitely, if you love them, it's nothing. So similarly, for that mother, Vikram and Maliva, though they were grown, they were not heavy to her. She carried both of them, each by the hand. So that is mother's love. Give me one of them. Give me one of them, Steve shouted. That is the warmth of the father. So these lines are depicting the parents' warmth, right? At any situation, they are there for the children. Parents are trying to safeguard their own children, right? So that he was shouting, Steve was shouting, give me one of them, I will take care, right? Steve shouted, reaching out, but I didn't give. Reason, she is not sure of her husband. It is because they did not have time. The wave was reaching to them. Just think, a huge wave is coming behind. Even when we go to the sea, when the sea waves are coming, we are running behind the little sea waves, right? But just think, a huge froth of wave, the high waves, even passing the conifer trees. Imagine you are in that place. Just think, how can they hand over the child? A split second is enough for one to destroy and get dragged by the waves. So they did their maximum to save their children. That would have slowed us down. That's why she did not give. If she gave the children, it would have slowed us. We will not have time for that. We had no time. We had to be fast. I knew that. But I didn't know what I was fleeing from exactly, because they are not aware of what is a wave, what is tsunami. So she was running, definitely, she was running so fast, even than her husband, carrying both the children, but no idea of what is she running out of. Okay, she doesn't have any idea of what is she escaping from. Okay, I didn't stop for my parents. Okay, I didn't stop for my parents. Readers understand, parents are also with Sonali Deraniyagala. I didn't stop to knock on the door of my parents' room, which was next to ours. On the right, as we ran out, I didn't shout to warn them. I didn't bang on their door and call them out. As I ran past for a splintered second, I wondered if I should. This repeating letter I is emphasizing how much she is worried about that. You know that in the poem Clown's Wife, how we talked about that. How the wife is repeating I for several times to emphasize that she has taken a great effort to make him happy. Even here, you will understand. I didn't stop for my parents. What do you understand? Okay, I didn't stop for my parents. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. I didn't stop to knock on the door from my parents' room. I even did not knock at the door. Just even 1 second, I was not going to knock the door. If you just knock the door for a little while, at least they could have opened and safeguard their life. But she did not, which was next to ours. That door was not far away miles. It was just next to our door. But I didn't. On the right, as we ran out, I didn't shout to warn them. She could have at least shouted. While running, while running, can't you shout? You can. But definitely, she did not have time. That's why she didn't do that. Her real purpose was to safeguard her children. It doesn't mean she doesn't love her parents. I didn't bang on their doors and call them out, repeating. She's again saying, I didn't bang. Bang means I didn't knock. Bang means, huge, huge knock. Even she did not do that. As I ran past for a splintered second while I'm running, for a second I thought, I wondered if I should. Then only as a daughter she felt whether I should really knock at their door. I could have really knocked at their door. She felt so sorry for that. But I couldn't stop. But the situation did not leave me to stop. Can you understand? So this unconditional love toward her parents even did not make her a chance to them to come out. She did not create that as opportunity to ask her parents to come out, because that love was less than, was great. Actually, her love towards her child was greater than her parents. She showed a great love to her children, right? That's a problem. I wondered if I should, but I couldn't stop. It will stall us. That means it will keep us to get late. That's what she did not do that. The real reason behind that was, if she stopped, she knows that the time will be not enough to safeguard their life, especially their children's life, right? We must keep running. That's what she thought, right? We must keep running. I held the boys tight by their hands. We have to get out. So, this line you can take to explain how a mother's love, even the previous stanza I told you, mother's love is completely shown. Even here, we must keep running. I held the boys tight. She held the boys tight. She was cocksure that whatever happened, she's not going to leave them because it's her children, right? Children are a worth, that's a treasure, a certain property for parents. So she really did not want to leave that and run. That's why she held them tightly, because she was scared that whether the waves will come and drag them unknowingly. We have to get out. That's what she thought. We have to get out. We have to somehow pass this place and go on. We fled towards the driveway at the front of the hotel. The boys ran as fast as I did. Wow. We fled towards the driveway at the front of the hotel. Okay, there were the vehicles and stuff. So they ran towards that place. The boys ran even faster than us. Okay, driveway is the road. They ran to the main road path, right, where the vehicles are running. They ran there. So the boys were superb, they were fast running. The boys supported their mom. They didn't stumble or they did not fall. They were all grown in abroad, right? They were all grown in abroad in England. But still, they did not stumble. They all were barefoot, remember? They did not stumble. They were barefoot, but they didn't slow down because stones or thorns were hurting them. For this mother, she was worried that even a stone or thorn pricked them, that is hurting to them. So just imagine how could they have bear that water is taking over them. They are gulping inside without oxygen. Even we can't wait inside the water for a little while, right? How can somebody, a small kid, bear up his life, soul, is not sure that where is he exactly, and he doesn't know whether he is losing his life, and he has no idea what is dying at all. For small children, they don't know what is actually dying. What is death is unknown. So, but these children had to face this unfortunate situation, and this mother is so worried that even they don't stay barefoot other days because thorns or stones are pricking. But in this situation, they ran fast, so fast, even without stumbling. They did not pick up any, they did not mind, even though the stones and these thorns pricked their leg. They didn't say a word. Our feet were loud, I thought. I could hear them slamming the ground. They were running so fast. They did not inquire their mother, why are we running and what's happening? No, they did not ask any question. Our feet were loud though. That stammering sound is so fast because that fastly they are running, that fastly they are running. They wanted to save their lives somehow. They wanted to reach safe for somewhere, but they did not know where this is going to end even. They were just running. They did not know where they are running even. They just ran because they want to save their life. That was the only motivation that they had. Ahead of us, a jeep was moving fast. Now it stopped. A safari jeep with open back and sides and a brown canvas hood. She can even exactly remember how the jeep looks like. So all this speech was said after the tsunami, right? The speech was said after the tsunami. But still she can remember the exact color, the look and all. A safari jeep, open back, sides and brown sides, open back and side. That means the sides and the back part is open of the jeep. Brown canvas hood, this jeep was waiting for us. Actually, the jeep was not waiting for them. The jeep was waiting for some people. But for her in that situation, she felt like that the vehicle is waiting for us. I have to somehow reach with my children to that spot. That's all what she felt. We ran up to it. So she had the confidence somehow she will go and reach the jeep. We ran up to it. I flung Vikram, but see, in that point, she was a little unconfident whether she could reach the jeep safe. But as a mother, a loving, caring mother, she quickly threw her child to the jeep. That suppose if she couldn't reach the jeep, at least my son should save his life. See that simple, what we call that feeling, the caring thought, the deep thought of the mother. Even if I didn't save my life, somehow one of my children, even I should save. That's why she flung Vikram. Maybe that Vikram was in her what we call the using hand. We call that as the right hand. Will say you are a right-handed person, so that right hand might be Vikram. So that's why she threw quickly, and he landed face down on the green corrugated metal floor. Because when you throw, she didn't throw to hurt him, remember. But suddenly, since that was safari jeep, you know how it looks like the bottom part. The child went and knocked his face, but somehow he reached the jeep. She says, landed face down. Steve jumped in and picked him up. So Steve is her husband. He quickly jumped into the safari jeep and picked him up and kept him. We were all inside now. So readers are feeling relaxed. Somehow our protagonist and her family are safe now. Right? The jeep was waiting for us, she thought. And somehow they are inside. Right? Steve had Vic on his lap. I sat across from them with Molly on mine. Now, Steve was sitting right across them, and Molly was with her. A man was driving the jeep. So they were not knowing who is the man. A man was driving the jeep, didn't know who he was. Until today, she doesn't know who he was. And there is no time to see who is that helping us as well. Right? It's not a situation for that point.